council have one more shot at it.
This will be,
Excuse me, before you go, I promised Mr. Laney over here, he came up and told me he didn't, well, let's let him, you wanna go now?
come on up.
Well, he wants to be last, so.
No, I don't have to be last.
Okay,
I was just letting everybody else
Okay,
talk.
go ahead, go ahead.
Personally, I want to thank you for scheduling the meeting to give us an opportunity to express ourselves, because I think it is important for you to hear the multiplicity of people who have ideas of why they are concerned. I do have a question about, there's a flood management meeting on the 22nd, why that wouldn't be held before this, but I'm not sure what that meeting really is for. In regards to the sand berm right now, whenever a decision is made, I'm not sure if it would be in place in time enough to do anything this year anyway. Because you've got to make a decision, it's 28th, it's going to take them, I don't know how long to install it, so this year's probably lost. I don't know,
Probably.
but it would seem like it would be. In regards to Glen Coffee, we have a letter on, what's the site, it's Dauphin Island information? What? Dauphin Island-info.org, where Glenn's information is on there so that you can go to and you can see the letter that Glenn provided for each of us to send a letter to our representatives. I've already done that. And I think that's very important because if you really look at the situation, it's not Dauphin Island per se. We're in the middle of a very strategic barrier island thing, and it really protects Bayou Lavatry and it protects Mobile, and we get the benefit if we can get that taken care of. If we need to have an informal vote of the West End people, Dave, we can put something up on the website to allow people to go on it to vote so we can get something back to you quickly. Because your concern that was brought up earlier about, Lisa said, I think, to have an informal vote, we can probably work something out, or the POA could put something up there. Just to give you an idea of more people and how they feel about what this berm represents. I've been concerned about it because of the impact of what it will do to us as homeowners and the impact to us in the future and shutting off our property and in some cases people's livelihood, because a lot of people own stuff, they get rentals off of it and use it for other, very important things. But first, I do want to thank you for holding this meeting. I hope you've gained knowledge that tells you that this probably is not the best approach to take and that we need to put the thinking caps on and look to other options available to us. And I'm sure that there are knowledgeable people on this island that can provide that input.
Thank you, Mr. Graves. Mr. Laney? Now he can see himself on TV.
That's always very serious, sir.
Yeah.
Once again, also thank you for putting this together for us and giving me the opportunity to record it. And we'll put it out to the property owners who could not be here tonight, hopefully within the next couple of days. Tomorrow night, I believe, is the usual meeting of the various entities on Dauphin Island. Is that correct? I would assume that would be a place for some questions to water and sewer about how they're going to be impacted by this directly.
Could very well be, and I'm glad you brought it up. I meant to bring it up earlier. The Dauphin Island Community Forum is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. It's going to be hosted by the Dauphin Island Property Owners Association at the Dauphin Club. We have that meeting once every 2 months. We usually have 5 or 6 people in the audience, and I've always said it's the best meeting on the island, but nobody believes me. But go ahead.
And secondly, the meeting on the 22nd, which I noticed in my email today, just changed from being a hearing to a meeting. What is the difference?
Well, it's a big difference, and I brought that up because when my staff put that out, I said, now, wait a minute, is it a public hearing or is it one like this? And it's really just because a public hearing would mean it's an official meeting. We have to take minutes. We have to be present. I mean, it's a regular meeting, and that's a big difference between a public hearing and a public meeting. And so that was my main issue. And honestly, Wanda would have to tell you more in detail what that meeting's all about.
And in conjunction, I guess, with that question, is there any legal recourse we have to force FEMA and people from the state to come here and answer these questions, since basically get the middlemen out of the way and ask them directly ourselves?
I mean, we certainly can ask that. I think, you know, certainly this is a hot potato. You know, how many people would like to be standing up here doing this, right? So we can certainly ask. I will give the state EMA credit for coming down, meeting with us. They were very helpful in that. And I'll say this sort of in their defense too, in a way that they're just trying to provide recommendations or suggestions to a host community from what they think they know about FEMA. Okay, so they're kind of caught a little bit too. I don't want to throw them under the bus. I mean, they're trying to just help us down the road as best they can, and it may be the sorriest idea in the world, but I mean, at least they're trying to work with us in that respect, and knowing what FEMA may or may not do, or guess what FEMA may or may not do, they're trying to ride that middle in our benefit, and I do thank them for that. But we can ask again, but I think they prefer that to be our issue.
And one final question, my property's on President Jefferson.
Okay.
I have probably one of the most successful non-waterfront rental houses on this island at this point. But my street has 3 full-time residents.
Mm-hmm.
Does FEMA look at a street that has people who live there versus it being second homes at all differently?
I don't know for sure, but I don't think they do.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. With that being said, again, Marion, thank you very much for all the technical support, and those people who couldn't be here tonight will have the pleasure of hearing what was said here tonight. So let me let the council have one more chance. Steve, you got anything else to say?
I always get to go first, that's sorry. Jim Hartman, early speaker, number 1, raise our own money, wants us to do things, don't wait for a handout. I loved it. That's my personal opinion. I think we can fix our problems. I like the offshore stuff. We've looked at rocks further out. We've looked at warships that we could put out there, which the government will donate to us. Also making a diving reef that would help tourism. There's a lot of things that this council has looked at, and all of them are not gonna happen in one night, and the fixes aren't here easily at our fingertips. Nobody wants, I know I don't want anybody to be impacted negatively. I think that, I heard something earlier, the people on the West End's voice only, it's the whole island that will be killed by a blowout, let me say that, not just the people down there, not just the people that have businesses, which I do have one. But at that point, we want to do the best for every citizen. We want to listen to you. Y'all took time to come out tonight. I can't tell you how many hours this council has put in that y'all hadn't seen. And we've put in the time, we've worked with the consultants, we've done everything we know to do to bring y'all a solution that is positive, that you will like. And what I was saying earlier about, if we go ahead and do an appeal, that doesn't mean we're gonna take the deal. It just means they're gonna say whether they give it to us or not. And as far as taking the money and running with it, I hope we're not that shallow. But I think the long-term fix would be to hope Sand Island comes in A. B, to build something, a breakwater out there of some type. We have a town in Louisiana you were telling me about the other day, Jeff. Wanted us to come see how effective theirs was. What was the name of that town? Grand Isle. So there's a lot of stuff that everybody's looking at, and everybody wants the best for the town. And I think someone said it best, that if we didn't like it here, we sure could leave, you know? I plan on dying here, hope not soon. But we're working real hard, and we're listening to everybody. And I don't think there is a black and white, hard line, this is right, this is wrong. There's gonna be a gray zone, and we're gonna have to live with some decisions, whether, if it's to do nothing with this proposed berm, which is okay with me, that's fine. But we have to live with consequences if we get a storm August the 1st. I mean, that's realistic to look at that. So whatever we need to do uniformly, united, and us all put our energy and some of our dollars into this project, because it ain't gonna be free. That's all.
I guess I've said all I want to say, but I just want you to know that if we're not voting for this option, it means no berm, and that means you know, even if we voted for it, you're not gonna get it for a year, maybe 2 years anyway. So you're wide open to storms this year. So who knows what the results are gonna be? Let's hope we don't get that. But we're gonna have to relook at things if that happens.
Several of you have come up with some very good ideas tonight. I think the most important thing is that we move together as one town going forward to get some more solutions on the table. At our EMA meeting, they were asking my opinion. I said, I want more options, and I'm still for that. I want more options. I don't think a berm is it.
I think the most important thing right now in the West End for us is a drainage system. I live in the S curve, and anybody that is in our area from probably St. Denis to St. Stephen's and wherever, we're like 4 to 5 feet of water for several days after even a good rain. So you need a kayak to get down there. But I think if we do have a good storm, we've already been told that Bienville is very vulnerable, and we could possibly lose Bienville. And then on our end, we'll be faced with having to get around. So without any kind of berm, you know, and I'm willing to take that opportunity. I live on the north side, so I'm there with you. So, but that is one of the things that we have to face with one, you know, hitting even 100, 200 miles from us, because I've even evacuated 2 a.m. in the morning. Being a permanent resident down there, I've been knocked on the door and told to get out. You've got 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get out. So we just have to kind of be prepared for anything that comes.
I really appreciate everyone coming out tonight. I'm a much better listener than I am a speaker, and I've heard a lot of good points tonight from all you people, and it will go through my mind a lot, and I'll give it a lot of thought, and I will vote the will of the people and the good of the island. I do not vote my preferences. I vote what's best for the people, and I want you people to know that. Thank you.
All right, and I think, again, I really do appreciate Mr. Laney for doing the technical work for us. I appreciate everybody that came tonight and all the comments you made. And certainly want to thank again the council for being here, as well as the Catholic Church for allowing us use of the building. I think a lot of things have been said here tonight. I think we need to remember that, as I said earlier, we're all in this together. And I know emotions get going sometimes. I totally understand that. If I had some big bucks and some properties down here that was in danger, I'd get emotional too, and I respect that. I mean, I feel for you. I drive, I don't have property down there, but believe me, I'm always thinking about that part of the island. Why, I don't know, but I am. I'm always thinking about it. I'm always wondering. I can be at work or drive across the bridge, and I'm like, uh-oh, the tide's high, the wind's south. Oh, geez, I wonder if the roads, I mean, it's just automatic. But I know that doesn't help you any physically, but you know, that part of the island, like I said before, is as important as any other part of this island. And for us to get to some, whatever the solution is going to be, whatever some long-term type solution is going to be, we are going to have to get there together. And we're going to have some things that we're going to disagree on. We're going to have issues that we're going to have to work out. But I do believe that together we can do it. I fully believe that. The one thing I would like to sort of throw back to the council is that, you know, it's a number of months ago, I suggested that we need to bring somebody on board with the town who can take this whole conglomerate of beach activities or beach programs of things and really handle it for us, or at least have a one-person clearinghouse, if you will, who can bring all this information in, filter it, work this program or programs for us, and give the council updates on a continual basis. And when it gets to points where we have to make decisions, we can make those decisions. Certainly that takes money, and it takes somebody with the right expertise to do that. But I do feel like that we, because of what I know, because of what I'm hearing tonight and all the things that we know are going on out there, we have a lot of irons in the fire. There are a lot of possibilities. You all threw some new ones in tonight. But it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a little bit of knowledge and know-how and expertise to know where to bird dog some of these programs, fundings, whatever the case may be. And you know, we can bow up and just say, well, let's forget about bringing any, let's don't look for any money, let's just do it ourselves. That's an option too. That's an option. I'm certainly open for any options at all, and I think we as citizens ought to feel that same way. And yeah, there are going to be some that we're going to think are real stinkers, okay? And if so, we'll scratch those off and we'll go to the other ones. But I think we owe it to ourselves as a barrier island community that we need to be willing to look at any type of options as we can, and let's look in every simple direction that we can to try to find what's the best solution for this island. That's what I think we ought to do. That's what I'm certainly willing to do. But I do feel like we need sort of a beach guru, if you will, person to handle this for us, because, you know, almost all of us up here, except for Mary, she doesn't have to work for a living too much anymore, but she's got Bruce to take care of. But most of us up here have to work, you know, we work jobs too. And we have staffs that do excellent work, but there's only so much they can do. And I think this is a major issue on its own, and I think it'd be well served to have somebody handle it, really take it, the lead on it, and handle it for us. So that's just my take on it. Again, thank you all for being here. We appreciate your comments, and have a safe trip home, okay? Appreciate it.
I didn't know, okay, we're not